Hi friends, I'm Krunal and welcome back to the Constitution for Life. Friends, for starting this YouTube channel, I bought a new smartphone and in the box of that new smartphone, I got a note on which every single information about my smartphone was written. How my smartphone will function, how it should function, what accessories I am going to get with my smartphone, what are the functions and also what features are there in my smartphone. Every single information was written on that note. As we all know, we call that note the manual of my smartphone. Means every gadget, every machine in world, there is a manual which describes about how the machine should function or how the machine will function. We call it as manual. And don't you think that the Indian Constitution is also a machine? It is also a gadget which is used to govern our country. The country, the biggest democracy in the world, it is used to govern our country. And that's why I think that the Indian Constitution must also have a manual. And there is a manual for Indian Constitution, which is nothing but the preamble of our Indian Constitution. So, this is the topic for today's discussion, the preamble of Indian Constitution. So, let's know what does the preamble means. So, the preamble is an introductory statement of any act or legislation which defines or which describes about what are the purposes, uses, ideas, inspirations, objectives and principles of that particular act or legislations. Means preamble is an introductory statement defining the purposes, uses, ideas, inspirations, objectives, principles and every small thing about any act or legislation. So let's know in deep about what is the preamble of Indian Constitution and its journey. So the first question arises, which is who drafted the preamble of Indian Constitution? So these two dates are too important for knowing the journey of the preamble of Indian Constitution. So the first 13th December 1946. What happened on this day? On this day, the first Prime Minister of our country, Pandit Jawaharlal Nehru, introduced an objective resolution in the Parliament. An objective resolution was presented in the Parliament on the day 13th December 1946 and afterwards on 12th March 1949. On 12th March 1949, it was accepted as the preamble of the Indian Constitution. Means 13 December 1946, it was the objective resolution and on 12 March 1949, it was accepted as the preamble of the Indian Constitution. So the tradition of introducing preamble for Constitution started in the America, and with respect to that, in India, 12 March 1949, the preamble of Indian Constitution was accepted, which was nothing but the objective resolution introduced by Pandit Jawaharlal Nehru on 13 December 1946. Now these two dates are too difficult to keep in mind. So we have a trick that on 13 December 2001, the Parliament attack took place in 2001. So it is a clue for us that the objective resolution passed introduced by the Pandit Jawaharlal Nehru and the Parliament attack happened on the same date. And 12 March 1949, the objective resolution was accepted as the preamble, and it is also nothing but the famous singer Shreya Ghoshal's birthday. So Shreya Ghoshal and the preamble of India and the Mumbai attack and the objective resolution. These clues you must take into consideration. So this is nothing but about the journey of preamble of India, preamble of Constitution of India. So let's know about the nature of Indian Constitution and India, which is told in the preamble. So the preamble of Constitution says that India is a sovereign country. Means the highest authority to take decisions about India is vested in India. Where? Nothing but to our parliament. Means the highest authority to make decisions is nothing but the Parliament of India. That's why India is a sovereign country. Next, it is a socialist country. Means the welfare of the society, welfare of every single citizen in society. It is the motive of Indian Constitution. It is the nature of India, that India is a socialist country. Next comes, it is secular. India is a secular country. But actually there are two types of secularism. One is negative secularism and the other is positive secularism. In negative secularism, the government of any country don't allow any citizen in the country to perform any type of religious activities in public life or in personal life. It is called as negative secularism. But in positive secularism, the government allows every person in the country to perform any type of religious activity in the public life or in the personal life. They respect all type of religions, but the country don't have any religion of its own. That's called the positive secularism. Means in India there are many type of religions, but the country India has no religion. That is called the positive secularism, and that's why India is a secular country. Now next comes the democracy. India is a democratic country. Abraham Lincoln said that for the people, by the people and to the people. Means the government run by the people, for the people and to the people is called as the democracy. And in India, it is the democratic country. Actually, the biggest democracy in the world is nothing but our India. Next, it is a republic country. Now what does the republic means? Means the highest authority in India is elected by the citizens of India by means of the indirect elections. Means the highest authority, which is nothing but the President of India, is elected by the leaders which we have chosen, which we have elected in the parliament. They choose the President of India, and that's why India is a republic country. So this is the nature of Indian Constitution. India is a sovereign, socialist, secular, democratic and a republic country. Friends, there are certain objectives for every machine on this earth. Why washing machine is invented? Simply to bring easiness in our day-to-day life. Why television is invented? To entertain the people. In the same way, there are certain objectives of the Indian Constitution, and these objectives are mentioned in the Preamble of India, which are considered to be accomplished by the enforcement of the Indian Constitution. So let's discuss about them. First is justice. There must be easy access to justice to every citizen in our country, whether it be the social justice, it be the economic justice or political justice. Every person have easy access to this justice, which is nothing but the objective of Indian Constitution. Equality before law, equality in opportunities in public employment, and equality for prohibition of discrimination. It's the second objective of Indian Constitution. Means every person in our country, every citizen in our country must be considered equal, and all the rights conferred to them must be equal, which is guaranteed under Article 14 to 18 of the Indian Constitution, right to equality. Next, it is the liberty. Liberty is the objective of Indian Constitution. Liberty of thoughts and expressions, which is guaranteed in Article 21 of the Indian Constitution. And the scope of this Article 21 of right to life and personal liberty with liberty of thoughts and expression is going to be extended day by day. And last but not the least, fraternity amongst the citizens of India. Means every person in our country must live in a peaceful environment in our country, maintaining the fraternity in our India. So now when you read these three words, equality, liberty and fraternity, in succession, something comes in your mind? Yes, the French Revolution. These three values, equality, liberty and fraternities, are evolved in the Constitution of India or adopted in the Constitution of India from the French Revolution, which took place in the 18th century in Europe. So, equality, liberty, and fraternity are adopted from the French Revolution, and these four are the objectives of the Indian Constitution. So, friends, let's take an example. If my new smartphone is available in the market in the updated version, will its manual be the same as it is today? Definitely not. It will be also updated. But in the same way, Article 368 of the Indian Constitution states that you can amend any part of the Indian Constitution by using this Article 368. But what about the Preamble of Indian Constitution? Actually, the Indian Constitution consists of 22 parts and 12 schedules. But is Preamble a part of Indian Constitution or not? This is the controversy in between the Parliament of India and the Supreme Court of India, and this controversy is discussed in these two cases, Ray Barubari Union and Kesavanand Bharati case, and we are going to discuss these two cases here in this video. So first of all, we must take into consideration that Article 368 states that we can amend any part of the Constitution, but actually Preamble is a part of the Constitution or it is not a part of the Constitution. This is the controversy which is dealt in these two cases. First is Ray Barubari Union and Exchange of Enclaves case 1960. In the judgment of this case, Supreme Court stated that Preamble is not a part of the Indian Constitution, and that's why provision of Article 368 don't give you the power to amend the Preamble of the Indian Constitution. You can amend different provisions in the Constitution or different articles, but not the Preamble of Indian Constitution. But further, in the case of Kesavanand Bharati 1973, the Supreme Court realized that the Preamble of Indian Constitution, it may not be the part of Indian Constitution, but it is a document supporting the enforcement of the Indian Constitution, and that's why the judgment of the Supreme Court told that Preamble is also a part of the Indian Constitution and it can be amended using this Article 368 of the Indian Constitution. So, any part in the Indian Constitution and also the Preamble of the Indian Constitution can be amended using this Article 368 of the Indian Constitution. So, the right to amend the Preamble of Indian Constitution got to the Parliament in 1973. But after that, how many times Preamble of Indian Constitution is amended? Only once, in 1976 in the 42nd Amendment Act 1976. Yes, the 42nd Amendment Act, which is also called the mini constitution of India. Too many provisions in the Indian Constitution were amended in this Amendment Act, and we are going to discuss this Amendment Act in a separate video. But for the time being, we must take into consideration that in 42nd Amendment Act, what was done with the Preamble? 3 important words were added to the Indian Constitution, which clears its nature more in detail. Socialist, secular, and integrity. Yes, socialist, secular, and integrity. These 3 words were added to the Indian Constitution in 1976. And after that, Indian Constitution, the Preamble of Indian Constitution is not amended any further. So, this is for today. This is all about the Preamble. We will meet in our next session. Till then, Jai Hind.